Amish Country, Pennsylvania, Columbine High School, Moses Lake, Washington, Bethel, Alaska, Pearl, Mississippi, West Paducah, Kentucky, Stamp, Arkansas, Jonesboro, Arkansas, Edenboro, Pennsylvania, Fayetteville, Tennessee, Springfield, Oregon, Richmond, Virginia, Littleton, Colorado, Tabor, Alberta, Canada, Conyers, Georgia, Deming, New Mexico, Fort Gibson, Oklahoma, Santee, California, El Cajon, California. Sincerely concerned student. The reply, dear concerned student, I'm not allowed in schools. Sincerely, God. How did this get started? Let's see if we can figure it out. Madeline Murray O'Hare complained she didn't want prayer in her school. And we said, okay. Then someone said, you better not read the Bible in school. The Bible says thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Love your neighbors as yourself. And we said, okay. Dr. Benjamin Spock said we shouldn't spank our children when they misbehave because their little personalities would be warped. And we might damage their self-esteem. And we said an expert should know what he's talking about. And we said, okay. Then someone said students and teachers better not discipline our children when they misbehave. And school administrators said no faculty member in this school better touch a student when they misbehave because we don't want bad publicity. And surely we don't want to be sued. And we accepted their reasoning and said, okay. Entertainment industry said, let's make TV shows and movies that promote profanity, violence, and illicit sex. Let's record music that encourages rape, drugs, murder, suicide, and satanic themes. And we said, it's just entertainment. It has no adverse effect. And nobody takes it seriously anyway. So we said, okay. Now we ask ourselves why our children have no conscience. Why they don't know right from wrong. And it doesn't bother them to kill strangers, classmates, or even themselves. Perhaps, if we thought about it long enough and hard enough, we could figure it out. So as we approach Election Day, what are some things to think about? What to look for? I think one of the things we need to look for is truth. Jesus said, if you hold to my teachings, you are really my disciples. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. So I think truth is something to look for. And admittedly, truth is very hard to find these days. It's very hard to find. You need to ask God for discernment. We need to be seeking God's face instead of the pundits. And I'll tell you, I'm preaching myself today as much as I'm preaching to you guys, because members of my family know politics is something that I get a little excited about. But it's important. I think we need to look for unity. Somebody who wants to bring people together. In Psalms, the Bible tells us how good and pleasant it is when brothers live together in unity. I hesitate to say that's not what I see in America today. Unity is like precious oil poured upon the head, running down the beard, running down Aaron's beard upon the collar of his robes. For there the Lord bestows his blessing, even life evermore. Unity, I believe, is an important thing for us to look for. Let us also look for fruit. Don't listen to what's coming out of their mouths. Look what's coming out of their lives. Jesus said, no good tree bears bad fruit, nor does a bad tree bear good fruit. Each tree is recognized by its own fruit. People do not pick figs from thorn bushes or grapes from briars. The good man brings good things out of the good stored up in his heart, and the evil man brings evil things out of the evil stored up in his heart. Out of the overflow of his heart, his mouth speaks. In a political campaign, there are many things said, and they say those things to try and sway you, to try and convince you, to try and manipulate you, coerce you, bribe you. Don't listen to what the candidates are saying. Look at the fruit of their lives. That is biblical. The heart is deceitful above all things. The candidates will try to appeal to your heart, appeal to what they think you want to hear. Look at the fruit. Look what they have done with their lives. Look what has followed them. Experience. I think we need to look at the experience various individuals bring to the table in their desire to be in place of government. And we're talking all the way from president down to city councilman. Experience does matter. Experience does matter. If you are the manager of a retail chain, are you going to go out and hire someone whose entire career has been in a nonprofit, doesn't understand how to make profits? On the same token, if you have a nonprofit, you might not be the best person in the world to run that. Might not be somebody who's been involved in for-profit operations all their life, because they bring a different mindset to the job. We need to look for experience that matches the job that we want to give people. Just consider whether you would want one who has competed in the economic arena to create wealth, or one who is content to confiscate the wealth of others. Capitalism is the tide upon which all ships rise. And we don't have time to get into an economic discussion, but capitalism, I believe God allowed capitalism to flourish in this country for a reason. And that reason is so that the United States could be a bright, shining beacon to the rest of the world, and so that we could finance the gospel. That's why He has bestowed His riches upon this country. And for many, many, many decades, we were the leading sender of missionaries and evangelists to the world. Because God gave us the means and He gave us the heart. And I believe that's why God allowed this country to flourish, and I believe that's why capitalism is the right way to go. But we're not going to get any further into that now. Consider, however, in view of everything that has just been said, that past experience or lack thereof is no guarantee of future behavior or performance. There is a qualifier to what I've said. However, I hold out to you that though it is no guarantee of future performance, it certainly is a strong indicator of where a person may choose to lead us in their governance.